Om Sri Sai Ram, offering my most humble and reverential pranams at the divine lotus feet of our beloved Master, Guru and God, Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. It is indeed my great good fortune today to welcome all of you to the Sri Sathya Sai Rudramayam Shibir and the commemoration of the 500 days of Gayatri chanting by the youth wing of the Sathya Sai Seva Organizations, Karnataka South. Respected State President, State Spiritual Coordinator Sundar Sir, Sri Adarsh Padiyar Sir, Office Bearers of the Sri Sathya Sai Seva Organizations, Karnataka, Vasanta ma'am is here, Sai Ram ma'am. We are all indebted to Bhagavan today for this most beautiful opportunity to work together towards Bhagavan's centenary celebrations through the Rudramayam program. You are all aware the Sri Sathya Sai Seva Organizations India has launched the Rudramayam program at the all India level across the length and breadth of our country with a single prayer. And that prayer is that every samiti, every devotee and every home, Rudra Ghosha should happen with one feeling of pleasing Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba alone. That's the only feeling with which we will march towards Swami. We'll march towards Swami's 100th birthday celebrations, and together we will all offer a grand Rudram chanting. By His infinite mercy and grace, we will offer a grand Rudram chanting at His lotus feet in Prashant Nilayam in November 2024. It's coincidental. After COVID, we are all meeting. Many of you, we all, we have been connected via the internet. Right now is the time to go to the internet. As we focus on our personal sadhana, and as we work together, keeping Swami in mind, and start visiting all the districts, okay, and start the propagation of the Rudra mission that Bhagavan wanted us. It was His sankalpa that every devotee should learn, and we'll hear his discourse later today. So it is very auspicious moment today, and I'm very happy that all of you have taken a lot of trouble to come from different parts of Karnataka. We have a very action-packed day ahead in front of us. A lot of Rudra sadhana we will all be performing together. We will learn from the Vedic scholars how the Rudram is to be chanted, what are the nuances to be kept in mind, and so on and so forth. I won't hold you all, before we get started with the program. Our first speaker today is none other than our dear State President, Sir, Sri Venkat Gosavi. He doesn't need any introduction. I request Sir to come and address all of us. Please welcome Sri Venkat Gosavi, Sir.
ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಆರಾಧ್ಯ ದೇವ ಭಗವಾನ್ ಶ್ರೀ ಸತ್ಯ ಸಾಯಿ ಬಾಬಾ ಅವರ ದಿವ್ಯ ಚರಣಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಅನಂತ ಕೋಟಿ ಪ್ರಣಾಮಗಳನ್ನು ಅರ್ಪಿಸುತ್ತಾ, ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಸ್ವಾಮಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ ಈ ಒಂದು ರುದ್ರಮಯಂ ಸಾಧನಾ ಶಿಬಿರ ಏನಿದೆ, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದು ಒಂದೊಂದು ಹೆಜ್ಜೆಗೂ ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ಮಾಡಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಧ್ಯೇಯ ಏನಿದೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್, ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ಮಾಡಿ ನಮಗೆ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ಮಾಡಲಿ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಸ್ವಾಮಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಳಕಳಿಯಿಂದ ಪ್ರಾರ್ಥನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಇಂದಿನ ಈ ಸಭೆಗೆ ನೆರೆದಿರುವ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಿರಿಯರು, ಎಲ್ಲ ವೇದ ಪಂಡಿತರು, ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕ ಸಾಯಿರಾಮನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಶ್ರೀ ಸತ್ಯ ಸಾಯಿ ಸೇವಾ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ, ಇದರ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುವಲ್ ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಟರ್ ಜೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಸುಂದರ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರೇ, ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುವಲ್ ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಟರ್ ಮಹಿಳಾ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ವಸಂತ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅವರೇ, ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ನಾರ್ತ್ ಶ್ರೀ ಸತ್ಯಸಾಯಿ ಸೇವಾ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುವಲ್ ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಟರ್ ಜೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಆದರ್ಶ್ ಪಡಿಯಾರ್ ಅವರೇ, ನಮ್ಮ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸೌತಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ನೀಡ್ತಾ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನಮ್ಮ ಬ್ರದರ್ ಸುಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣ್ಯಂ ಅವರಿಗೆ, ಸುಬ್ಬು ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಅವರಿಗೆ, ಮತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜಿಲ್ಲಾಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಿಗೆ, ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಪದಾಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳಿಗೆ, ಮತ್ತು ಯಾರು ವೇದ ಅಧ್ಯಯನದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಂದು ಭಾಳಷ್ಟು ಉತ್ಸಾಹದಿಂದ ಇವತ್ತು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀರ, ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರೇಮಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದ ಸಾಯಿರಾಮನ್ನು ನಾನು ತಿಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಯಾವುದೇ ಸಂದರ್ಭ ಬಂದಾಗ, ಸರ್ ನೀವು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅರ್ಧ ಗಂಟೆ ಮುಕ್ಕಾಲು ಗಂಟೆ ಮಾತನಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನನಗೆ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ಎರಡು ವಿಷಯ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹಂಚಿಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಖಿಲ ಭಾರತ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನಿಮಿಷ್ ಪಾಂಡೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ತುಮ್ ಬಾತ್ ಬೋತ್ ಕರ್ತಾ ಹೈ और कम काम करता है ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ವೇದಿಕೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕರೆ ನೀವು ಭಾಷಣ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳ ಪರಿಣಿತರಾಗಿದ್ದೀರಿ, ಆದರೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಬಹಳ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ ಅಂತ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದರು. ಅದೊಂದು. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಏನಂದರೆ 2006 ಈ ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಯುವಕರಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಒಂದು ಅವಕಾಶ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಅತಿರುದ್ರ ಮಹಾಯಜ್ಞ ನಡೆಸಿಕೊಡುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ದಿವ್ಯ ಅವಕಾಶ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದರು ಅಂದರೆ, ಆ ಕೋರ್ಟಿನವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದಂದರೆ, ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ ಇರಬೇಕು ಹೊರತಾಗಿ ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲ ಮುಂದುಗಡೆ ಬಂದುಬಿಟ್ಟು ಭಾಷಣ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳಿದರು. ಅದು ಒಂದು ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕವಾದ ಒಂದು ಸಂದರ್ಶನದಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಯುವಕರಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ನೀಡಿರುವಂಥ ಸಂದೇಶ. ಈ ಎರಡು ಸಂದೇಶ ನಾನು ಯಾಕೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂದರೆ, ಇವತ್ತು ನನಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುವಲ್ ಇನ್ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅವರು ಮತ್ತು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ವೇದ ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಟರ್ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸೇರಿ, ಸರ್ ಇವತ್ತು ನೀವು ಅರ್ಧ ಗಂಟೆ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕು ಈ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ, ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ಧ ಗಂಟೆ ಮಾತನಾಡುವಷ್ಟು ಒಂದು ವಿಷಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಎರಡನೇದಾಗಿ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಖಿಲ ಭಾರತ ಶ್ರೀ ಸತ್ಯಸಾಯಿ ಸೇವಾ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕಳೆದ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟು ಬೇಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಫಾಲೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಡಿವೈನ್ ಫುಟ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು ಜಿಲ್ಲಾಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಿಗೆ, ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಕನ್ವೀನರ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲ ಪದಾಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಏನು ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕೆ ಹೊರತಾಗಿ, ನೀವು ಸರ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಸ್ವಾಮಿ, ನನಗೆ ಈ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ನಾವು 30 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ನಾವು ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಆದರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ರೀಸನ್ ವೈ ಐ ಬಿಲೀವ್ ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೀಡ್ ಅ ಟಾಕ್ ಫಾರ್ 30 minutes is because we are all just going to follow whatever Swami has given us instructions. Everybody here, the state president, the state spiritual coordinator, the state Veda in charge, all the gurus, they are all incidental. But we want to request you today. ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಏನು ಕೇಳ್ಕೊತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಒತ್ತಿ ಒಂದು ಮಾತು ಕೇಳ್ಕೊತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಭಗವಾನ್ ಶ್ರೀ ಸತ್ಯಸಾಯಿ ಬಾಬಾ is the divine source. The Sri Sathya Sai Seva organization is only the path to that source. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಸ್ವಾಮಿಯ ಒಂದು ದಿವ್ಯ ಚರಣಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಗಟ್ಟಿಯಾಗಿ ಹಿಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ಮತ್ತು ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ನಿಷ್ಠೆಯಿಂದ ನಾವು ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕೆ ಹೊರತಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಅವಕಾಶವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದರ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆಯೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇಷ್ಟು ಹೇಳಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾನು 3-4 ವಿಷಯದ ಜೊತೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಹಂಚ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಖುಷಿ ಪಡುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ವಿಷಯ ಏನಂದರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಇಡೀ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ನಾರ್ತ್ ಮತ್ತು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸೌತ್ ಈ ಎರಡೂ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳು, ಎರಡೂ ಸತ್ಯಸಾಯಿ ಸೇವಾ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳಿಂದ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ ವೇದಾಧ್ಯಯನದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಮುತುವರ್ಜಿ ಇದೆ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಬಂದು ಸೇರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೃಂದಾವನದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಹೋದರ ವಿನಯ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದರು, ನೀವು ಈ ಥರ ಮುಷ್ಟಿಯನ್ನು ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಹೇಳಿದರು, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸೇರಿಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಇವತ್ತು ಇದು ಇಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸುವರ್ಣ ಅವಕಾಶ ನಮಗೆ ಬಂದಿರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಪದ್ಮನಾಭ ಪೈ ಅವರು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಅವರು ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಆದರ್ಶ್ ಪರಿಹಾರ ಅವರ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಏನು ಸಹಕಾರ ನಮಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ, ಅದರಿಂದಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಸ್ವಾಮಿಯ ಮೆಸೇಜನ್ನು ಇವತ್ತು ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮಗೊಂದು ಅವಕಾಶ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದ ಒಂದು ಕೃತಜ್ಞತೆಗಳನ್ನು ಅರ್ಪಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಒಗ್ಗಟ್ಟಾಗಿರೋದು ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್. ನಾನು ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಸುಂದರ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಸಾಯಿ ಸ್ಪರ್ಶನ್ ಸಮಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತನಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ವಿಷಯ ಹೇಳಿದರು, ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಯು ಟು ಬಿ ದ ನೀಡಲ್ ದಟ್ ಸ್ಟಿಚಸ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್, ನಾಟ್ ದ ಸಿಸರ್ ವಿಚ್ ಕಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್ಸ್. ಅದನ್ನು ನಾನು ಜೀವನ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ನಾನು ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ, ಭಗವಾನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಗ್ರೇಟ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಫಿಲಾಸಫೀಸ್ ಇನ್ ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಇವತ್ತು ಈ ಸೂಜಿಯ ಥರ ಒಂದು ಒಗ್ಗಟ್ಟಿನಿಂದ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಸೇರಿಸಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕೆ ಹೊರತಾಗಿ ಓಕೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರು ಏನು ಯೂಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ದಿವ್ಯ ಸಂದೇಶ, ದಿವ್ಯ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಪುಟ್ಟಭಕ್ತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಹೇಳಿದರು, ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ ఎవరికి వారే యవన తీరే ಆ ಥರ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಸೇ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಲಾರ್ಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ವೆರಿ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ when he sees all of us together. So I want to say how grateful I am to Sri Padmanabh Pai, to Dr. Adarsh Padiyar, to Srimati Naldi Ulla, that they said, sir, we will all travel to Bangalore and we will come to Brindavan, the sacred abode of Bhagavan, and we will take this Rudramayam program forward. So I really want to say that I am very, very grateful to them for this wonderful step which they have taken to bring all of us together. I want to say a few things today which are direct messages from Swami. If you see the Rudramayam program, first of all, because I want to talk about the Rudramayam program a little bit today. The Rudramayam ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ ಆಲ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಅವರಾಗಲಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಮುರಳಿ ಜಾಜು ಅವರಾಗಲಿ, ಅಥವಾ ನಮ್ಮ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ವೇದ ಇನ್ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಅವರಾಗಲಿ, ಯಾರೆಲ್ಲ ಸೇರಿ ಯಾಕೆ ರುದ್ರಮಯಂ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಹಮ್ಮಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ ಸ್ವಾಮಿಯ ಸಂದೇಶ ಏನಿತ್ತು ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮುಂದೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಬೇಕು. As you know, the avatar had 4 phases in his life which he himself has described, and one of them was basically dharma rakshana and Veda Uddhara. So in order to foster the Vedas, in order to bring the culture back, and to ensure that each and every devotee in each and every house today there is the Veda chanting is made possible, the Rudramayam program has been launched. Adharinda ನೀವು, the people who are assembled here today as the early adopters, as the trainers, ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸ ಇದೆ. ಈ ಒಂದು ದಿವ್ಯ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕೆಲಸ ಇದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ನಾನು ಸಮರ್ ಕೋರ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅದನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗೋದು. When Bhagavan was concluding one of his divine discourses at the end of one summer course here in Brindavan, Swami said, among the millions who were wanting to be a part of this program, I have chosen only the few hundreds of you across this country. And the reason is, in the future, and remember he was saying this in the 1970s, so 50 years ago, this is what Bhagavan said in the concluding discourse of the summer course. And he said, among the people whom I have chosen to be a part of the summer course today, all of you are like the army generals and majors. It is now up to you to go and train the thousands and lakhs of soldiers across this country, is what Swami said. And he said, that is my expectation. And then Swami said, I'm expecting you to be those majors and generals, so that you will build all the soldiers, so that this whole country is transformed, because everybody will then be very familiar with Indian culture and spirituality. Adharinda, it is not because of Supu brother or Adarsh Padiyar or Vasanta madam or because of any of our coordinators here today. You have not come here because of them. They are incidental. The divine purpose is that Bhagavan will that all of you should be there at this sadhana shivir today, because he wants you to be the messenger to take forward this whole Rudramayam program, where you will have to train all the people. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ, ನಾವು ಈ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟು ಬೇಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಲ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಒಬ್ಬರು ಭಕ್ತರು ಭಜನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಅಥವಾ ವೇದ ಚಾಂಟಿಂಗಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಮನೆ ಹತ್ತಿರ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಮಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಒಬ್ಬರು ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಇದ್ದು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಸಮಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಬಲಪಡಿಸಬೇಕು, ಹೌ ಟು ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂಥನ್ ದ ಸಮಿತಿ ಇಸ್ ದ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್. ಇನ್ ದಟ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್, one of the objectives of what is about the Veda, is about the Rudram chanting, which he wants everybody to be enabled. I think you are going to be an instrument in Bhagavan's hands to basically impart how to chant correctly, how to chant in the right quality, how to chant in the right emphasis. I think this is the chosen mission. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ ಒಂದು ಸಮಿತಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸಮಿತಿ ಏನಿದೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ ಹತ್ರ, ಆ ಸಮಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ರುದ್ರವನ್ನು ಕಲಿತು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದರ ಪಾಠವನ್ನು ನೀವು ಯಾರು ಹೊಸಬರು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವರಿಗೆ ನೀವು ಕಲಿಸುವಂಥ ಅಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಏನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಇದರಿಂದ ಅಂದರೆ, ಬರೇ ನಾವು ಬಂದುಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಕಲಿತು ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಈ ಒಂದು ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜನ್ನು ಇಟ್ಕೋಬಾರ್ದು. Swami always said you should have broad and expansive vision. So Swami expects you to share this knowledge which everybody in the society. So therefore the responsibility which is there on you is to go and gather the people near your place, the people who are interested in learning the Vedas, The people who are interested in learning the Rudram, it is your duty, brothers and sisters, today to actually take this mission of Bhagwan forward. So I want to request you, whatever you learn, please don't keep it to yourself. You have to ensure that it spreads to many, many, many more people. Then only Swami will be very happy, because more and more people will benefit from the chanting of these sacred hymns. The other important message which I want to leave with you today again is, whether somebody is doing personal sadhana in the morning with Omkaram, Suprabhatam, practicing the Soham mantra, then afterwards chanting the Ashtotram, or doing the Jyotir meditation, it is very, very important that each and every one of you should understand the meaning. There is no point in just going and saying, sir, I know all the 11 Anuvakas. No problem, sir. Namige ella gortide. Now kaltibittidevu, sir. Pustakanu beda namige. That is where human ego will come in. And I am so grateful today to see our gurus who in 2008, they very painstakingly taught all of us how to chant the Rudram. Okay, so we were able to go to and chant in Swami's divine presence. I want to tell you what they told all the people in the state of Karnataka. In this very same Kalyan Mandap, they addressed all the 1,000 participants who were youth on that day and said, ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ ನೀವು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ ಬಾಯ್ಪಾಠದಿಂದ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನೀವು ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರಿಗಿಂತ ಸ್ಪೀಡಾಗಿ ಅಥವಾ ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರಿಗಿಂತ ಜೋರಾಗಿ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಆವಾಗ ಮಂತ್ರ ಮರ್ತು ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಆವಾಗ ದೇವರು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋದು ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಮುಂದೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ದ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಈಗೋ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಇನ್, I stop working, is what Swami has said on many occasions. But if you keep your ego on the side and you say, it is only with your mercy, Bhagavan, that we are able to chant the Sri Rudram, I think then he will ensure that you become better day by day. You become perfect. You also understand the meaning. I was just telling Dr. Adarsh Padya today, when 2008, when Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba instructed that I want 1,000 youth to come and chant the Rudram in my divine presence, he was among, at that point of time, he was among the people who actually knew all of these things, because he had practiced it right from his young age. And just to give you a small example, he had explained to us what the meaning of the word Bheshaji, which comes in the Rudram. He had explained to us how the divine doctor works. What is this principle of the divine doctor? What is this medicine which we are talking about, which comes from the divine hands of the Lord? All of that he had explained. So each sentence, you have to understand the meaning. Each word you have to understand the meaning. And here, I'd like to basically refer to a discourse which I just heard recently. I will request our coordinators to share this with you, because I have downloaded the audio from the Sri Sathya Sai Media Center. It is Bhagavan's Divine Discourse on the 25th of October 2001. In the 2001 25th October discourse, which I thought he made me to listen because he wanted me to share this with you today, Swami is essentially focusing on students and telling them, all of you are very, very good at science because it's being taught to you in the school. But I want you to understand that this principle of divinity, the one who is the creator, the one who is the sustainer, the one who basically protects, the one who annihilates, he says all of these are embodied in the divine principle. And he says you need to understand that the divine principle is actually operating in the universe through the Panchabhutas. And Swami goes on to explain. He talks about the earth, he talks about water, he talks about air, he then talks about fire. He talks about fire not only outside but also inside the Jataragni. All of that he explains. It's a discourse which is more than 1 hour, on one of the longer discourses of Bhagavan. But what is relevant for you today is to understand two things. One, Swami is saying there very clearly, you should understand that what you know is a very, very small fraction of what is this whole universe. And he's giving an example there, and he says, Mana Venkatraman Unnadu, as you know, Dr. Venkatraman was Vice Chancellor at that point of time, and he says, Mana Venkatraman C.V. Raman daggara nerchukunnadu. But he says, Ayaniki telisindi inte. He says Dr. Venkatraman has actually studied under Dr. C.V. Raman, who's a very eminent scientist, but what Dr. Venkatraman knows is a very, very, very small fraction of the universe. He says, if you know so much, and there itself you are becoming so egoistic, just imagine how egoistic God must be, because God knows everything. He is the creator of everything. So that is one message which Bhagavan is giving. He is referring at length to Einstein, and he is saying Einstein was a great scientist. He said one One team went into Einstein's reading room. They found Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad. They said a great scientist like Einstein was actually referring to the Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads and living his way, and therefore he had very little ego, and therefore he became very eminent. So this is one very, very clear message which Bhagavan is giving. The second message which Bhagavan is giving there is about the importance of the sound. And he's saying you are able to speak because of the energy of the sound which is being bestowed upon you by the Lord. And there Swami is cautioning us that we should not misuse the 5 elements which have been given to us. So I want to request you, sisters and brothers, today that discourse will be shared with you. Obviously you should just follow whatever Swami says, because I am not going to be there in between, but I just thought it's important for me to share with you that we should follow these important dictums which have come from our Divine Lord. And Swami said there in conclusion, Swami said, you have to understand that the avatar is the ideal. And he's giving a very good example there, which brings me to the organization. Like we've had a discussion with all the state spiritual coordinators and the state Veda in charges. We have requested that we follow Swami's instructions, that the Mahila trainers will actually train all those who are interested from the Mahila side in the Vedam. On the gent side, like we will work on identifying the gents who will actually train the gents. It is in 2008 when he permitted us to carry out Rudram training across the state of Karnataka. He was absolutely clear in his mind that we will not mix ladies and gents. So I want to say here today, because ನಿಮಗೆ ಇವತ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತನಾಡುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಅವಕಾಶ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ, Swami was very, very particular about these things. So I don't want to basically encourage any discussion. I want to humbly request, with folded hands I am requesting you, it is our duty, ನಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಒಂದು ಆದ್ಯ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯ ಇದೆ ಇವತ್ತು. ಭಗವಾನ್ ಶ್ರೀ ಸತ್ಯ ಸಾಯಿ ಬಾಬಾ ಅವರು ಏನು ನಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಆಜ್ಞೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಓಕೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಏನೂ ಲೋಪವಿಲ್ಲದೆ, ವಿತೌಟ್ ಈವನ್ thinking about it and without making any deviations, we must implement and follow the divine directions of Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba in terms of how, the training will be carried out for gents and how the training will be carried out for Mahilas. And in that same discourse of 25th October 2001, sisters and brothers, Swami is giving a wonderful example. He says, Naku mundu ippudu Jayamma matladindi, and I'm sure all of you know who's Jayamma, she was actually the principal of the Anantpur campus. She said, Naku mundu ee roju Jayamma matladindi, Swami plane lo ekkekado potadu, kaani 40 kilometer unne ikkada Anantpuraki raavatam ledu, is what she said. So Swami says, I want to explain, and he's telling this in the discourse, he's telling all the devotees who are present there, I want to explain to you, and through you I am giving answer to Jayamma, why I am not coming to Brindavan. He says, to Anantapur. He says, Naku Anantpuram povali ani undi. Kani, I have to understand that in the Prakriti, there is people are observing me. He says, today in this body which I have taken, which is the human body under which the avatar is there, he says it's a masculine body. And he says the Anantpur campus is a campus for Mahilas. He says, I should not be going there. People think I want to go to Anantapur, and if I stay in Anantapur, he says thousands of devotees will go. Nenu Puttaparthi nunchi na karu kadalte venaka 100 karu vastayi, is he saying there. He's saying if I start to go to Anantapur, 100 cars will come behind me, and then the Anantapur campus will have to bear the burden of taking care of all those devotees, because you have to give them breakfast, you have to give them lunch, you have to give them dinner. So he says, one, I don't want to inconvenience them. Second, he says, as the avatar, I have to lead by example in society. So people will be observing how I am conducting myself. So this is also, again, I want to emphasize what Swami said about saying how we have to live our lives with that ideal. I would like to conclude by sharing with you a few things which our state spiritual coordinators and our state Veda in charges have put a lot of effort. First thing is, we want you to be very, very disciplined and participate in a regular manner. Because you cannot, if you are irregular, if you are not coming to the class regularly, if you are not practicing as per the guidance of the Guru, what is going to happen is you will then not be able to teach or impart that knowledge to somebody else. So it's extremely important for you to be very, very regular and be, sincere about this undertaking of yours. The second point I want to make is that we keep telling that we cannot continue to just remain as devotees of Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. We have to now become sadhakas. Who's the sadhaka? As and Sundar sir has said very, very nicely, in all the districts where I've had the opportunity to travel with him, the one who does personal sadhana is a sadhaka. So you have to do personal sadhana, which is you have to be familiar with the Onkar, how to chant, what is the meaning. You have to be familiar with the Suprabhatam. You have to understand the Ashtotram. You should basically follow the 9-point code of conduct which is there, which is essential for all of us. And you should start with your home. You cannot say, sir, nammanel now hege bekange sir, parvagilla sir, bere hogi biಟ್ಟು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀವಿ now. That is not possible. In fact, All India President started this program on birthday of the family Narayan Seva, where he said, every day, if your house there are 2 people, he says you should cook for the third in the name of Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, and you should go and give it to the most needy person. He said you should practice in your house. So there is a great responsibility which is there on all of us, that we have to practice. So please be very cognizant of the fact today, as you conclude this Rudramayam Shibir and start back home, you have to understand there's a responsibility which has come to you because you volunteered to be a part of this thing. Okay? And I am not going to say anything more except to say that when you go back to your samiti, when you go back to your hometown, I want to request you, please be an active member of the samiti. Okay? In fact, Vasanta Madam had given me an opportunity to speak to all the district spiritual coordinators earlier this week. I have personally made a commitment to each of the district Mahila spiritual coordinators that the district presidents will spend a lot of time enabling them. We will not make them waste time in doing reporting. We will not basically waste their time in trying to organize big events. But we will basically, as district presidents, I'm going to request all my brother district presidents, some of them are actually here today, I'm going to request all my brother district presidents to support the Mahila Vibhag, to support the district spiritual coordinator, to ensure that we are able to involve Mahilas in a big way. Like Professor Mukundan, our zonal president, had said that you can do a bhajan in your house. Maybe you can have 5 bhajans. You can have 5 bhajans on one chosen day, which is convenient to all of you, so that you start that in your own family and your neighbors will be motivated to join you. So let us start small. Let us basically pray to Swami for his divine blessings. Let us stay united. Because the biggest problem of the Sai organization today is that people are talking ill of each other, which is against the 9-point code of conduct. Because the 9-point code of conduct clearly says that you cannot speak ill of anybody else in their absence. So how can you not follow the 9-point code of conduct? So in that same discourse of the 25th October 2001, Swami says, who is the one who's criticizing? Who is the one being criticized? Who is the one who is being praised? Who is the one who is actually praising? Who is the one who is learning? And who is the one who is actually the learned? He says, if you look at it from my point of view, he says, all of these are one. We are only different body, but the soul, the Atmic principle, he says, is same across all of the universe. And he actually includes even animals, rivers, mountains, everything he includes in that. So I want to request you, kindly, listen to Swami's discourse, listen to what the elders are trying to impart to you today. Please bring them into practice. The organization, sisters and brothers, I've been fortunate enough to basically be a part of the organization from 1981 when my father actually brought me, as a young boy studying in 10th standard. He brought me to Brindavan and he prayed to Swami and said, please take care of this fellow. He's not doing anything seriously. I'm really worried about his future. Okay? So what I'm saying is, His divine mercy, He has ensured that we are part of the mission. He has ensured that we have all stayed united. He has ensured that we have been continuously able to think of Him. I want you to know this also. In this very same Brindavan ashram, He told one devotee, your wife, your son, your daughter, they're going on telling you not to smoke cigarettes, but you are not listening to them. He said, if you don't stop smoking cigarette from today, first of all, I will stop talking to you. So that person was a little stunned, because he was always looking forward that Swami will speak to him. Then he said, if you still don't listen to what I am saying and stop smoking, I will see to it that you don't have an opportunity to come to Brindavan for my darshan. Then that man was still standing. Then Swami said, if you still don't listen to me and continue to smoke, I will see to it that you will not even be able to think about me. And that person collapsed. Because for the avatar to say that I will see to it that you are not being able to think about me is, for a Sai devotee, the ultimate punishment. Not coming to Brindavan, not going to Prashantilayam, not having his darshan, not having the opportunity to speak to him is okay. But if he says, ನೀವು ನನ್ನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಆಲೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೂ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ, when he says, we all have to become very alert. Because what is our life after all? Our life is what he has mercifully given to us. So I want to request you, please think about these things very carefully. The organization is an excellent platform for you and me, sisters and brothers, to actually practice and become better human beings, to practice, to undergo our personal sadhana, to transform ourselves. It's a great platform. So you have the opportunity today to learn the sacred Sri Rudram, with people who are very, very, well trained, people who are deeply committed. I want to pray to Swami that he blesses each and every one of you today, with great success, with all the knowledge, which all the resources which are required for you to be able to accomplish your goals. And I want to pray that with his blessings, the Sri Sathya Sai Seva organization, with noble people like you involved, we should be able to take the message of the Sri Rudram to every devotee so that they are able to chant. For all this at his divine lotus feet, I really want to thank our state spiritual coordinator and our state Veda in charges for giving me this opportunity to interact with you. Okay, I want to also thank all the people here in Brindavan Ashram who actually very, very graciously keep helping us. Every time we have a big program like this, they are actually very, very helpful and supportive. And I want to pray that Swami blesses each and every one of us. Jai Sai Ram.